Is that the end?
Oh my god. Growth over comfort. We're back. We're in the session with my man Chris Davison, my man Joel McGlynn. I don't know why I'm saying it like that actually. I got a bit ahead of myself, but
Yeah, I
this is
enjoyed
fun.
it.
It's been
Good to be here.
I've only just entered this world because I've just put the earphones back on.
Joel
And
seems to be fascinated about putting the headphones on his.
Sounds so
I'm
different.
going to try one ear on, one ear off. See how,
That's
see how that works. It's
Multi-dimensional.
like being in the mirror and outside the mirror.
That suits you.
Are you staring at yourself?
In a way.
That's all good. It's all good. This is actually the third time you've.
Yeah.
Number 3. I've chipped in on a conversation a few times.
It's always good, isn't it? This time we're just
So-
gonna really dig deeper though.
Dig deep.
No, I'm only messing. We're gonna have a nice chat.
Yeah.
We got Joel here just messing around. He just can't sit still.
Can't contain myself right now. I
Can't sit
can't decide whether I want 2 earphones, 1 earphone, or none.
He sat there with his Jaeger bomb in his pint. So it's,
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
I'm not feeling too well today, me, lads. Not feeling well at all.
Yeah, no, you don't look well, Shakk.
I'm under.
You look under the
I'm
weather.
under.
Down in the dumps a little bit.
I
you're
am.
not been taking your echinacea.
What's that?
Well, echinacea's like this. From the plant stimulates your immune system.
Oh no.
It's,
No.
I think it works.
Echinacea.
Where'd you get it
You
from?
get it from Holland and Barrett health
Oh,
shops.
really?
Yeah, look it up.
It's the first time I've actually heard of it.
Oh,
It's
is
the
it?
first time
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard of it too.
It's like from a plant. I don't know too many details. I'm not that clued up, but it kind of working in here. I work here at the studio, obviously, so there's a lot of people come through spreading the germs. I used to get colds all the time, but since I've been taking it, I get a lot less. So
Helps the immune system.
does.
It's
Strengthens
funny you
that
say
immune
that.
system.
People find their own recipes to help themselves stay healthy.
Yeah, do you know what? I swear, pepperoni pizza does it for me.
I know what you
Really?
mean, Shakk. Or kebab with
Pepperoni
garlic
kebab.
and
Do you know
chili.
what? Going back to being ill, but I'm looking forward to this podcast now. But after the podcast, I'm in the studio with Chris,
Oh, yeah.
the man himself,
Hell yeah.
and we've got a new track
Mm-hmm.
coming, and I'm so excited for this one. Like, I think you've brought out the best. You've brought out the best in me, Chris.
I've just listened to Shakk do it, and it just sounded completely different to anything else. For me, it by far it tops 24/7. It tops Overtime. It tops Pickle Rick. It tops them all. And I was just sat back, and I was absolutely
Lyrically-
buzzing when I was listening to it.
Lyrically on a totally different level. I just
Yeah.
like he sent me over. I kind of like knocked up the beat, and it's still
The beat, by the way, is incredible.
and that
it
isn't
just
even
makes it so unique.
that hasn't even sort of really done, it's just kind of like I banged a few things together, and then it's not even structured yet, but
Jesus.
once the plan is he's going to get his bits down, and I'm going to sort of like build the track around his vocal, and I'm going to add some vocals and do some
It's exciting.
I can't wait.
When do you think this is going to be?
I don't know. I mean,
do you not want to put a timeline on it?
it might be a good idea to. But
Yeah, put
just-
yourselves
just
under a bit of pressure. I think just writing something down like that, write it down on a bit of paper, try and get it done by a certain date, and then you commit to it.
Yeah, that might be an idea.
We
Because
can
at the
do
minute
this.
it's like a little side project. I just thought, right, I want to do a track with Shakk. And
Track with Shakk.
Just be something a bit different. The idea behind it isn't so it's not going to be like hip hop or it's going to be obviously hip hop based. The
It's
beat
just
is like that, but
different.
it's just going to be more all about like soundscapes and lush sort of layering going on and sort of weird noises and like a headphone listening experience.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So, but obviously the vocals
wearing
will be.
these.
An
Imagine
actual
it's-
experience. You're going to
Yeah.
go through the journey of the music.
Yeah.
You're taking it back to what it's meant to be about.
There might be sections where it goes all weird and breaks down into sort of like different time signatures. It could be I don't
Different
even
time
know yet.
signatures. We're going to have our own Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh,
I'm telling you,
Get a bit of 15, 16 in there. 7, 8.
we're going to go for it. And do you know what? I can't wait to perform live in
so
here as well.
is this just the first bit of work in what could be a joint collaboration, or is this
I
going to
think
go
so,
further?
yeah, because it's just something we've
Yeah.
like talked about, and
Yes.
then I like I said knocked the beat up, and then just he came up with these. I got the lyrics back. He sent us on Facebook, and he little
There's nothing
little
else.
voice clip, and
There's
I was just
nothing
listening to it,
else
and I
out
was like, "Fucking hell! Oh shit!
We got
Time up!
Oh shit.
He like I say he sent me that, and I was just like I was quite inspired by what he sent. I was just like, this is fucking unreal.
It's
Like,
phenomenal.
really good.
It's
like
phenomenal.
lyrically, just on a different. I can't even because I haven't heard it. I can't wait after we finish this. We're going to be laying it down. So I'm buzzing to see.
I
what
can't wait to
happens.
sit back and watch it.
Some good music.
Yeah, some proper
music.
music, live music,
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah, and we've seen Chris perform live. And if anyone hasn't seen Chris perform live,
Yeah.
you need to come see Chris perform
It
live.
is the most powerful thing that I have ever witnessed personally live. When it comes to music, it's got to be. I was sat on the bar and I was just like watching you as your voice was just so powerful. It just pierced through the full
Really
place. I felt like people were walking past behind, but as they were walking past, you could see them thinking, "Oh, what's this? What's this?" And then they'd be like, "Who the fuck is that?"
When you're at like your peak there in your performance, it's not something that can be ignored. Like the voices just hits you. It really does. It's like it's definitely talent.
Thank you very much, man. That's like
Brilliant.
I'm not really good normally with
Compliment. I know it's
compliments.
weird.
Take Tom Evans's take Tom Evans's advice.
What
And,
was that again? What did he
just say thank you for the thank you.
Keep it light-hearted.
Thank you for the thank you. No, I appreciate it. It's like I've been working on it for a while now and trying to. I feel like I'm at a level now that I feel like I'm the best sort of I've been personally with especially my singing, because something I always struggled with when I was kind of growing up. Like I was mainly a guitarist basically. I always wanted to be a guitarist. That was my main thing. And when I was writing, I mean this goes obviously back years, but like when I was writing music, I was always coming up with all the lyrics, all the melodies and everything like that.
It's just like with early band work.
Early band stuff, but I was never confident like at all to be able to pull it off.
Age are you
But you were
talking,
actually writing
13?
the songs still.
About from 16 onwards.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, I was writing the songs, but what I'm saying was I was always looking for a singer to sort of sing.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want to play guitar. I kind of just wanted to be like Slash, really.
Man.
Really?
The
Hair
cool
over my
guitar,
eyes, like just kind of like
pissing on everyone.
just well, not necessarily that, but just sort of like hanging. I want to be a muso. Like, I didn't want to be the focal point of a band. If you
No,
know,
yeah. You wanted to shit on people, not piss on people.
And so yeah, but eventually like we went through different lineups or whatever. It didn't never worked out with a singer, so I just like sort of forced myself.
So what do you think?
Crazy
You see when you're at this age, like 16, 17, and you say that you're trying to find a singer.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because like, is it a lack of confidence or what is it?
Total lack of confidence.
That's what it all boils down to.
Yeah.
It's strange, isn't it?
It's hard to believe it now.
Oh, yeah, it is really,
It's really hard to believe it now. It's especially on stage. We got a rendition of Lost Boys.
Cry Little Sister,
Yeah. People should go check that on YouTube. That got some. That started moving on YouTube, didn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's gone viral, but it's just doing all right. It's got a few thousand hits. I'm chuffed about that. And the good thing, and my mate James, who runs the film club, he actually sent it to G. Tom Mack, the guy who wrote it, and it sent it, and he sent the email back to him saying, well, he said it was the best version he's heard of it, of
really?
the covers of it, and I was like, wow, that was. I'm not blowing up my tribute or anything, but it's what he said.
I feel like I feel it's better than the. I don't want to offend the guys, but like your version is. It's definitely better. It's definitely better.
I wouldn't say it's better, but it's just my own interpretation of it.
So I need to hear both.
Have you not heard? Well, you've heard it live. You've
seen the film Lost Boys, right? You must have seen.
No,
oh man, you're missing out. You
Am I
need
missing
to see
out?
that. Yes.
Shall I get myself in?
Yeah, have you seen a lot? You've seen
No.
Lost Boys? Oh man.
Don't
Lost
look,
Boys.
Shaq, you look at me in disgust.
It's
Then.
like
How dare you look at me in disgust?
I was hoping I'd get away with it there. I was hoping we could pin it
Trying
all
to
on Joe.
divert the
And I
fire.
can act like I've actually watched it.
It's like the best vampire film ever. Nothing's ever come close to it. It's a total classic, 80s classic. So it's
The Boys Are Lost, was that?
The Lost Boys. Keith Sutherland, 24 and all that.
Hutherland.
Keith
Keith.
Sutherland?
Keith Sutherland. Keith, I can't pronounce it.
Is he from Sunderland?
He's not. No.
Keith from Sunderland.
Yeah, but that's something for your homework. Check it out because
I'll give it a go.
It's a good film.
It sounds good.
Lost Boys.
Mm.
I need to watch some. I want some new stuff to watch. I've been watching the Happy
Place.
The Good Place.
Happy Place. Are you taking the piss?
Is that what you done?
That's what I always call it. The Happy Place.
I messed it up, man. But it's called The Good Place. It's got what's his face from. Remember Cheers back in the day?
Oh, that's not.
All right.
Oh, did you knock that? It was Cheers or something. What's the main guy in Cheers called? I forgot the guy's name. But this Good Place is basically where like, plot. Woman dies, right? Woman dies. She ends up in this place called the Good Place, and it's basically like a division of heaven. So in heaven, you've got like different architects, and they have like their own neighborhoods, and you get put into these neighborhoods that are perfect matches for you.
Yeah.
And your soulmate will apparently be in this neighborhood. You go in heaven.
Yeah.
And this neighbourhood she goes in, it's full of good people, and before long she realises that she is actually a bad person. She doesn't belong there.
No, straight away she realises this. Straight away when she gets taken into the good place and she gets introduced to like, it's the architect of the area. So the architect who designed the full place. She gets introduced to him, and he's like the manager and he's running it. So he introduces her to the good place. But when he introduces her into the good place, he gives her loads of these like stories that she's done that's been so good in her life, and she's sat there like, oh yeah, brilliant, but none of that was even her, and she's sat there thinking, fuck, that's not me.
Yeah. And obviously the opposite. If you're not in the good place, you go to the bad place.
Yeah,
and,
so she had to lie.
Yeah, and it's good. I don't want to give it away now. I'm thinking of it. People actually ruin it for her, but there's plot twists everywhere.
So to explain how she gets away with it, so she stays in the good place and doesn't go to the bad place. When she meets her soulmate's this. He's a
Chidi.
Yeah,
he's like a philosopher.
He's a philosopher, but it's in ethics. He's all to do with ethics
and morals.
So he can't lie. So when she tells him the truth, no, it's not. He can't lie, is it?
He just doesn't want to lie.
Yeah,
because Immanuel Kant, a philosopher. Have you known if you've heard of Immanuel Kant?
Yeah.
But if you ever, honestly, like some of his work's really hard to digest. Like he's known for that, and like within the philosophers. But he always says that lying's wrong in any situation. And then this guy...
I'd agree so much.
What, like lying's wrong in any situation?
Yeah, lying, yeah.
It is though, but you know, sometimes...
You just don't always have to tell the full truth.
Everyone lies. And it's actually like...
Do they?
Yeah.
I think everyone's lied.
The statistics in the workplace...
You can work on it. You can work on it. So.
No, the statistics in the workplace... That like it's a high percentage of like most of your lying goes on in the workplace. People lying to each other constantly in the workplace.
Wonder why? What do we achieve by lying?
So like,
it's just sometimes like
there's levels.
Why is it human?
Why lying shit though?
Why is it human nature to lie? What are we protecting ourselves when we lie? Are we hurting other people? Like what are we doing when we lie? Like what's the why as our consciousness even developed this ability to lie?
What lie? It's a survival mechanism. Definitely a survival mechanism. Sometimes like people lie to get themselves out of a bad situation. What about white lies? You think white lies?
Yeah, little white lies that you tell. And you shouldn't tell them either, because then that builds the ability to lie. It's like decision making. Yeah. You shouldn't really procrastinate too much over a decision. Just make a decision and go with it, so you don't get like what you said, this decision fatigue. So it's like when it comes to lying, the more that you tell these little white lies, the easier it is to tell a big lie. So you shouldn't want to tell a big lie.
I would not go out in a day-to-day life with the intention of telling a lie at all. I mean, probably in my past, in younger days, I'd lie to get out of shit. I'd lie to,
It's just difficult not to. Sometimes it's good to not be fully honest. You don't always have to be fully truthful in everything you say. If you think to say any more would hurt somebody's feelings, and there's no good being like telling them everything, because you don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Oh, Shakk, what about this then? Like from something like someone like you're a rapper, right? So someone like Eminem, right? He sort of built his career on, and it says like all his rhymes is just basically exaggerated stories of the truth. So he just exaggerates in art form. Yeah. So that in itself, obviously lying a bit, but it's funny. It's like kind of it's
well, that's like stand-up comedy as well.
So it's not like, would you class that as lying, or he admits he's not telling the truth? So it's like
with art, it's weird, isn't it? It's more subjective.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking. So like you get away with stuff like it's got a poetic license or something. Yeah. Like you can put yourself in other people's perspective. Like I've just done a song there about like cheating and all this stuff, and I've created I've created scenarios. Obviously, some are influenced off life, but most of it I've fabricated. Yeah. Good. I wanted to create a
but that's story. Different, isn't it? That's like fiction,
But you know what? Sense? Would stories ever exist if we didn't lie? I'm thinking like, like when you think of a TV script,
though, isn't there? There's a difference, because that's not lying. That's just elaborating.
I suppose it's just creating something. So
it's
that's
it's creative mind.
I suppose lying in all forms is deceptive. So it's pretty much it's always going to be a bad thing, because you're always deceiving someone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's interesting. We just went deep.
It is, yeah. We just got
describe it, and that all came from the happy place.
The happy place.
The happy place.
Yeah,
good one.
The good place. That all came from talking about Immanuel Kant and going back.
Immanuel
to
Kant.
Chidi.
Yeah, he's a lot of philosophy based on lies is come from Immanuel Kant's work, so he's a good one to check out.
Nice, yeah. I should really look closer into him. But that the Good Place. He's taught. So Chidi himself.
I'll have to check it.
He's actually taught. He's teaching ethics, and what he does is tries to teach. What's the name again? Oh, I've
forgot Susie. Let's just say Susie for
so he
sake.
teaches Susie
It's not
how
a name,
to be a good person. But then like she does little things, doesn't she? Like the one story that sticks out to me is they have to pick up a load of garbage that's floating around the Good Place, and she gets it, but she runs out of time, so she gets it and like shoves it all under a mat, and then a couple hours later it starts raining garbage. Garbage? I'm not American. What am I?
Garbage.
The
trash.
The trash
American
started
trash.
raining.
I'm the trash can man.
It's crazy. Do you know what? Also, when you think of good and bad is different all across the world. Like good and bad means different things across the world.
Sorry, to stay on documentaries on Netflix or programs, should I say, or series. Has anybody seen Making a Murderer 2?
No, I don't.
I've started watching it again.
but
It's just
I'm
so
not
boring at times. I'm sorry, but it's just it doesn't grip my attention.
You remind me of it.
Mate, don't mess with me.
Yeah,
Mess
but
with me, Shaq.
documentaries, you can get really zapped into it. But
I just don't have time to watch a lot of TV. That's just, yeah.
Yeah, I try and commit like an hour or so now on a night time where I can just watch. You know, every time I used to watch TV, it'd be something educational. It'd be something where I'm learning. And it got to the point where I was like, stop being so fucking serious. Like, just watch something that you want to watch. Like, people were telling me good series to watch, and I was like, no, I ain't got the time. And I was like, well, have a little bit of fun. Like, you don't need to watch something serious all the time. But then again, I'm watching Making a Murderer 2, so I'm kidding. That's pretty serious.
screaming at your screen, I heard people get wound up over that shit.
God.
But good and bad over across the world. Good and bad is just there's differences. So like, let's say like a place like Iran.
Mm-hmm.
Before 1979, this was a country where you could go to the beach in bikinis. Schools were mixed between female and males. There was no segregation, and all this. So and then in 1979 there was an Islamic revolution. There was an Islamic revolution. That's not funny, by the way. The actual revolution's not funny. I'm laughing over the story that's coming. And then after the Islamic revolution, that means women had to cover up. Schools were then segregated. So these people who lived a lifetime with freedom were then suddenly... What's happened, mate?
Guys, I'm getting gigglies.
I know why he's laughing, we'll get there, but like this place where...
No, you're going to have to stop.
We're segregated. No, it's alright. Joel is laughing his head off right now. The story that's coming, but... So now it's a place that's segregated, so people like my parents who lived in a place where they were completely free, then had to get out of this country where there was a revolution, and basically went back there and like... I went and visited. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, by the way. But on my way back, I was in the airport, right? And this is the capital of Iran, which is Tehran.
Right.
Massive airport, right? And we're on my way home. We had our family waiting in the terminal and stuff like that. But it's huge. I mean, like, so like where the
thousands.
I mean, like there was thousands of people in this terminal, right? And there was like a bulletproof glass barrier separating where the drop-off point where people would be, where you'd come through the entrance ready to go through the gates and whatever, the checks. And then there was this bulletproof glass, barrier. And then there was the massive flight of stairs that took you to the top there, where you'd say bye to everyone at the top. You know, you'd look down at the rest of the airport. Mm-hmm. Thousands of people. My uncle at the bottom, he was like, when you get to the top of them steps, he said, do a little dance. So I was like, right, okay. I was only a kid, I was about 10. So I went to the top of these steps. This is an Islamic country now, by the way. Went to the top of you can't even dance in these places in public. Do you know, like, say you want to just strum your guitar? That sounds like a... I don't mean masturbating in public. If you just want to just play your guitar in public, that's not allowed, mate. This is a place where these things were flourishing. You've got to remember, Iran is Persia.
So while you're talking, tell the story about them two people playing the guitar in the park.
Oh, yeah, so like, say, like, now... I mean...
So you did do the dance?
Yeah, so, no, like, this all built up.
Let me finish the
I
dance.
think you're going to tell this story to make that story work.
Right. So, like, okay, so, like, what happens in Iran now, that basically, obviously, before the revolution, everyone was free. So, everyone's... The millennials now in Iran, they live under this Islamic revolution. So, most of their parents, for instance, they didn't live under such laws. They come up with music and culture just flourishing. Don't forget, this is Persia. This was one of the first ever this is the biggest civilization ever. So much culture involved, and it was just stripped away from a lot of them. But say like the parks are beautiful there, by the way. But say you're playing guitar in the park, police will come and stop you playing guitar in the park. You can't play that shit. You could actually get locked up for doing it. So my uncle, for some reason, said when you get up there, do a dance. So don't forget the magnitude of this place. It was huge, bulletproof barriers
in the capital.
In the capital, armed guards, armed army soldiers. You know what I mean, with guns, right? And I got to the top of these stairs. I look down. And I see my little uncle in the crowd and he's waving.
As if he was instigating.
Out of nowhere, I just started doing this little jazz shuffle or something across the steps. And then
Bit of a moonwalk.
I done it all. I was doing the Michael Jackson kick, the spin. I was coming down 2 steps, bopping back up another 2 steps. Ba, ba, ba. I was in my element.
Walking up and down. And
the crowd was shouting, Dubore! And that means again in Persian. They're shouting again, again, again. My uncle said there's women out there with the headscarves. You know, you have to keep your headscarves off. They were taking the headscarves off and flinging it wrong. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but basically they were kicking off because I was dancing. They were going again, again. It was like a concert, mate. Yeah. I'm not lying. It was just madness. Next thing I know, right, there's about 12 armed guards come up these steps. And they dragged me, my dad, take my passports off us, everything.
Shit.
I'm lucky because someone in my family was chief of police at the time, and we got our passports back. Yeah. And when we went to Amsterdam,
and he spoke to them.
Yeah, I got told I was going to get lashed. And if I was a kid, I was crying my eyes out.
How long was this? How long was like the punishment going on for? Where they caught you, like stripped your passport, and basically to your family? Was that going on for like an hour, or was it like 5-10 minutes and it was resolved?
It lasted about half an hour, I'd say. They took our cameras off us and wiped all our footage on our cameras. They were ready just to keep us there, right?
Fucking hell.
And well, obviously,
and you think they would have punished your dad?
They would have punished, because we caused chaos in this airport, man. Imagine in the middle of Iran, I caused absolute chaos.
God.
Like it was madness. It was madness, and you stop off at Amsterdam on the way home, and I swear to God, the amount of people that stopped over at me were like, "You're a legend." Like,
really?
I was like 10. I think this is probably why I went into performing. I just must have got a buzz, but I was like,
must have planted the seed.
I nearly caused a second revolution in Iran. Remember that?
That's fucking brilliant.
I bet people in that airport that seen that still remember you now.
They must do. That was an iconic moment right there in that airport. When I went back the second time,
it is. Yeah, they should imagine you went back and you posted.
I did. I went back the second time, and the guards recognised me.
What?
So they remembered from a year later.
Did they say anything to you?
I can't remember. There was something said. I can't remember what was said. But the guards remembered me and everything. I was a kid. Scary times, but luckily the family member, chief of police, I was sorted the first. I would have got punished. Sad, isn't it?
That's really
just for dancing.
It's a really bizarre story. I know, just for dancing. Do you think that dancing's like the true expression of yourself?
I don't know, but I think dancing is something that I don't actually know the history of dance. Right? Don't quote me on anything I say, but I'm sure dance come around pretty early in human history.
Dancing around
Dance
the fires.
Must have came around pretty early.
Look at dancing around the fires. It'll have been well before that.
It was just movement, isn't it? As humans, our brains are a bit more complex, so we understand rhythm. I don't think there's many animals. I think there might be one at the very most. Can't remember what it is, but only 1 or 2 animals at the most understand rhythm.
I don't know.
No, honestly.
But how can animals dance so well?
They don't dance.
Have you never seen animals dancing when they're flirting with each other? I tell you what, I wish I could show you a video right now.
Sort of birds of paradise doing those dances, building these
like penguins and stuff,
building these like little arenas.
Oh my God, have you seen the fish that?
Yes,
the fish that does the mandala.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not. They don't actually have a sense of rhythm.
They know rhythm more than you.
No, but they
know rhythm more than you.
Just Google it.
You don't know rhythm.
They don't actually know rhythm. They might have movement and stuff like that, but they don't know actual rhythm. So they can't be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and start swaying and be.
I don't know.
This is a fact.
I don't know.
I'm sure I've seen it.
I've never really thought about it.
I don't know. This on Attenborough.
Attenborough doesn't know shit.
This was on something I seen.
Attenborough doesn't know shit.
People watching, they can go cross-check that. But animals don't have rhythm. We have rhythm.
I'm joking.
This is natural for us to want to move.
I love David Attenborough.
To want to move. I don't know how we got here.
I don't know how we got here.
But we've it's interesting though. It's good. I'm liking it. I'm loving it.
You know what? I'm really looking forward to doing this raw. I might talk about that.
What, the raw? Well, go on then.
Ocean-
North Atlantic Road.
Ocean Revival.
Ocean Revival.
Ocean Revival.
3,700 miles.
So basically, me and 3 other Marines. That's going to be massive. So if people don't know, Joel is embarking on a massive mission in 2020 with 3 other Marines. One of them is actually still serving. He's a serving Marine, and from what Joel tells me, he's dedicated to his craft as well. This guy's relentless with his work rate, and from what I can see as well with what they've done on social media, they're already making an impact. And it's 2018.
Yeah,
we've got till 2020. I know 2019's around the corner saying that, but
So you're doing it in 2020?
2020.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
so you've got a
yeah,
year
yeah.
to prep.
So we got plenty of challenges beforehand. So the first thing we're doing on the 5th of May is get yourself involved, Chris.
Oh.
A 30 miler.
Right
Up, it's right up your street.
What, a row or
No, a run.
a run?
Across Dartmoor.
You know what? I'd like to do it. I reckon.
You've got it in you, mate.
I'm only just getting back into running. At the minute,
We've got
so
some inspirational individuals who
I
you
want
would not
to do a
expect.
marathon. I've not yet done a marathon. The furthest I've ever ran, I think, is about 22 miles.
how's your knee holding up?
Throw yourself in the deep end.
My knee's all right. It feels stronger every day. I'm really happy about that.
Cool.
Are you doing yoga or anything like that?
I'm not doing yoga, but I've been doing a few little things in the gym. Squats and just leg stuff to sort of
strengthen it.
Because it's been a bit of a shit year for injuries.
Yeah.
Tendinitis in both feet. My Achilles went to my left, and then peroneal tendinitis my right. Shit knee, fucking shit elbows. Getting old, man.
Once.
So that's why you get yourself signed up.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, it's like if I do something like that, like some epic. This is how I get injured by doing these fucking stupid things. I think I hurt my knee last time from doing just hiking across the Dales for 5 days, doing 20 miles a day, 20 miles a day.
I wouldn't put the pressure on you really.
But I'm all for it, and I'm totally, if I was.
If you felt like you wanted to do it, then you could happily join in.
Yeah, exactly. I've always wanted to do a marathon. My thing was just to do a marathon, but I'm not like one of these people that's like. Want to do extreme sort of 100 mile, like that guy who was on the other week. What's his name?
John Steele.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's just that's just like
he's dedicated as well.
Yeah, he's too much.
He's fully committed. John Steele.
John
Steele, what a guy, by the way.
I know, yeah. Limping around the studio.
He's probably running right now.
I know he probably is running right now. What an inspiration that is.
Totally.
He's fully committed.
Yeah.
You've got quite an athletic build, though, haven't you? Really?
I mean, I do a lot of swimming and stuff, but I don't make conscious efforts to do it. I just
natural.
Just kind of natural. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, natural.
Same. I go for the exact same thing. Yeah. It's slightly different.
I like to swim. I like the buzz. I like the endorphin rush, but I don't do it for I don't really do setting a goal to I'm going to do this. I just quite like just keeping on top of my game because it affects me mentally. If I'm in good, if I feel good physically, my mental.
Well, that's what they say, though. They say
fit body, fit mind.
Exactly. And they actually say it's better for you, though, to do a little bit every day, or it's not to do the most strenuous stuff. I think Joel, every time he looks at me, he's laughing. He's making me self-conscious here.
It's just that hood.
Well, the way I'm wearing, nobody can see how I'm.
It's the hood, mate. I keep looking at the hood.
We should all.
Do I look like
can't
eating?
take you serious.
So basically, I've got my hood.
We should have all done this podcast in hoodies. That would have been quite funny.
I'm ill. I've got my hood over my cap with the headphones over the hood and cap.
I'm gonna stick my coat on. I'm gonna do something similar. It's freezing in here, by the way, Chris.
It's
not I'm in my fucking t-shirt, man. It's
absolutely freezing.
It's like Tenerife out this
motherfucker. Got my big rab coat on.
Get your rab coat on.
Yeah, but back to your Ocean Revival thing. So yeah.
So the 30 miler is the first thing that we're doing. Right. After that, we are doing the 3 peaks of the UK. The way we're going to work that so people can join in there as well.
In the 24 hours.
So in the 24 hour. I've done it before. To be fair, the
Ben
3
Nevis,
peaks
Snowdon, and
Scafell. But we're gonna go from the bottom up. We're gonna go from Wales, and we're gonna try and get people involved through charities. So if we.
That's something I'll probably be up for doing.
Mate,
cool.
So we're looking. What we want though is from each person who does join the challenge to raise £500 because it is quite a big thing for us to commit to insurance wise and everything else. So we want people to commit when it comes to the charity. Let's face it, the charity is going to be paying for the cause at the end of the day. So we have to look at it from that point of view. So that's the next thing that we're doing is the 3 peaks of the UK. Then after that, we are going into the Lake District, and there's 9 swimmable lakes in the Lake District. There's 11 lakes, I think, but 9 are swimmable. And I'm going to make a kayak out of plastic bottles, because all you need is a bit of glue, a load of plastic bottles, and you can make a kayak. We're then going to go to the first lake, and we're going to do it in order, and we're going to swim all the lakes in the Lake District in 48 hours as a team with this kayak attached and, tied to us, and drag that around all the lake.
So that's how you're going to do it in what?
In 48 hours.
48 hours.
48 hours. So what we'll be doing is like one person swims for an hour, then the next person swims for an hour, then the next person swims for an hour. Yeah. And that's how you sort of overcome it. But then some of the lakes are quite a bit smaller, like 1 kilometre, 1.1 kilometres in length. So when it comes to a lake like that, it'll be just 1 mile maybe. It'll just be one person going for it. And
so the main thing though, 2020, you'll be rowing what's been labelled as the most dangerous row.
Yeah. Statistically.
So I don't think anyone's ever accomplished it. I know people have done. So it's called that's the North Atlantic. I know people have rowed the South Atlantic.
No. So people row the Mid Atlantic, and that's on things like the Talisker Whiskey Challenge, which is I'm not too sure how many miles it is, but it's during the winter or our winter over Christmas time. But that's when there's not many storms and like you can get across. And this, by the way, this is taking nothing away from that challenge. That is an incredibly tough challenge, and like people dedicate their lives to it. It is really tough. But the comparison between that and the North Atlantic is you're going to be hit by the storms. You're going to be hit by the cold winds off the North Pole. Basically, you're coming off the Arctic. So then you're going to be battered by that, and it's just going to be continuously hard. And it's much longer journey, 3,700 miles from. So we haven't even explained where it's from and to. So it goes from Brooklyn Bridge, New York, to Tower Bridge, London, 3,700 miles. Now, the reason why no one has ever done this route before is just logistically it's quite hard. Also, it's quite a lot further than just rowing from America or Canada over to the UK. It's quite a bit further.
It's fucking insane, man.
It's a long way, isn't it?
So how does it work? So say like it's starting day at New York Bridge.
Yeah.
This is New York Bridge, New York fucking bridge.
I'll be in tears.
This is crazy. Mate, I can't even comprehend. This is mad. No. New York Bridge.
I can't.
Brooklyn Bridge.
And Brooklyn Bridge.
In New York.
Where you could go see where Biggie used to live.
Yeah, maybe.
But so you're gonna have a boat as well.
Yeah, so we've got the boat now. We've got the boat already.
Have you got the boat?
We are the proud owners of a 40-man ocean rowing boat.
So this boat, I think we had a conversation about it last time, but this boat, you said there's like enough room to sort of sleep with 2 people.
Yeah, so there's a cabin at one end with 2 beds in it. And has
it got a shitter?
No. You got a bucket, and then you put a bit of water in the bucket, have a shit.
All right.
It's like disposable.
By the way, this is going to be on in the ocean, in
the middle of nowhere.
Days.
Yeah, no. So what we'd like to be able to achieve is 60 days. If we do 60 days, then that is like breaking records. But if we get hit by bad weather and it takes us 100 days, and it could easily take over 100 days.
So do you have to have all your supplies on the boat? Everything, water,
food, water. But we have a water maker, so that sucks up the sea and then that makes you water. Yeah. But food, just rations that we got.
It's going to be mental. It's actually it's a mental.
A few beers, just
a few beers,
take the edge off.
Yeah, just to take the edge on a rough night. Yeah, on a rough night when you're getting battered by the storms.
Rum's good, isn't it, for on the ocean?
I don't like rum though. No.
I love a bit of rum. Not gonna lie.
There's not enough rum in here.
Jack Sparrow.
There's not enough rum. You got any rum for me? Any rum for me?
Rum and coke.
Well, that is just a crazy mission to want to. That's mad. I don't even have words to say. Like, this is from Brooklyn Bridge to London Bridge. People,
you know what though? Like,
risking your life.
It's weird. Like, I've noticed something in my life at the minute. Like, every time I set myself a challenge at the minute, I do it, or the build up to it. Like, when I get closer to it, it's like it doesn't seem like a big deal. Like, I don't look at the Ironman like it was really an achievement. I just look at it's just an Ironman. I don't look at the North Atlantic row like, fucking hell, gotta row from there to there. Like, that's ridiculous. I just look at it like it's just something else. I don't look at it like it's actually a big challenge, weirdly.
Yeah. Well, I
don't feel like it's a big accomplishment. Even when I get back out, it's not something like I'd brag about doing. I'd be proud of it, but I'd then be looking for something bigger. It's like, it's weird.
I suppose it's bad. It's good to sometimes not think about the big picture.
I know, but also it's bad because I want to really appreciate it while I'm doing it and not think.
But you will, and accept it's a big deal. You'll be in the moment. So if you just each day at a time and not think about, right, we've got to go from here to here, whatever miles.
Do you just roll?
I'd say
just roll, be in the moment. It's a bit like when you're doing, like you say, if you like a long distance run or something. You don't. If you think, right, I've got this far to go, you just got to think, right, I'm just getting
In the
you
flow.
know, in the flow and be in the
I
zone.
love going for long runs, and I went for my first night run on Saturday night, and I had a head
I
torch,
like
and
night
it's just,
running.
you know what? I was like looking up at this in the sky at the stars, and you just get lost. You just get lost, and you think like, what's really out there? Like, what is really going on above us right now?
Are we gonna go there as well?
Yeah, I think we're gonna
Deep into the cosmos.
yeah, because it's
Let's
just
go into the
it's
cosmos.
just massive. If you think about the distance from here to Mars, I think that's 55 million kilometers. The distance from here to Sun is like, and that's at its closest, 55 million kilometers. It's the nearest planet to us, and there is endless amounts of planets out there.
And
there is
also,
endless
it's forever
amounts of planets
expanding.
out there.
And then what Neil deGrasse Tyson said before stuck with me, where he said, I think that's my wire, but it's where he said, you know, because the universe is forever expanding.
Yeah,
Yeah, do you understand that, Joel?
yeah.
Can you, because the universe is always expanding, so say in generations to come,
Yeah, they will
when
not.
look
They
up the
won't
sky,
see what we see
well, yeah,
now.
when they look up at the sky, they will not see the same stars that we see.
Mhm.
Planets might be further away, and it's just crazy. But then that makes you think.
What?
When we look at the sky, what are we not seeing?
Yeah, what has already went out of our sight?
This like space forever expands.
Think about if you rewind the clock like millions and millions and millions and millions of years, right? And then you stood on this planet, then you looked up at the sky. What stars would you see then? Because that's a million years
When
less
did
time
when
to pass.
does anyone know the timeline of when humans came about? Because I know we were like,
you know what?
were we?
Neanderthals, but there was many different
The
versions of
Neanderthals.
humans, and then like there was one that sort of
Homo
emerged.
sapiens.
Yeah,
Are we Homo sapiens now? No, we're human beings. Sorry, but like there was Homo sapiens. There was.
I think we are
Neanderthals.
I think we are though.
I don't know. I actually don't.
I don't know enough about this topic.
Well,
I was going
like-
into space. I was going up. I don't know. I looked at this
Obviously,
too much.
I wonder what we were back then, but like we say, a lot
But-
got lost.
Yeah,
A
so
lot got
I
lost.
want to know is when they looked up at well, not they because there was nobody around millions of years ago. But what did they look up? If they were to look up at the sky at that moment in time, how many stars would they see compared to us? Like 50 million years ago. How many more stars could you see in the sky?
We've
Because
got to
there
think
was
the universe
billion-
wasn't as big back then. The universe wasn't as big. Cause
Yes, but the stars that were out there were a hell of a lot closer because they haven't had millions of years further to expand.
With the created yet.
Is it definitely expanding though?
Yeah,
do we
yeah.
Know that do we know that?
It's a fact.
Is that a fact?
Constantly, space is constantly
See,
expanding
I'm not really that scientific.
faster than the
like-
speed of light.
And I believe it probably is. It probably is, but like you see the whole thing with the Big Bang or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't completely buy the Big Bang theory.
Why?
No,
so?
yeah, I know what you're
Just
saying.
because it's like I
Where
can't
did it
believe
begin?
That something from like out of nothing comes all this. I don't
But
know.
But
doesn't
even
everything
the-
come from
But
something?
I'm
No,
willing
but-
to hold my hand up and say I'm probably completely wrong.
But what
So
about, it's like, do you know when they say there was nothing to begin with? Well, what is nothing?
What is
Exactly.
nothing?
Then that will actually trip someone out when
Well,
you really
say
feel that.
there's something the size of a. You're saying something the size of like an atom or something.
Well, here's a
What
simple
on
way that
earth?
I've just thought about this, right? Something, now everything comes from something.
Everything
So
comes from something.
everything comes from something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just think about it. Everything comes
I
from
understand,
something. Right,
yeah.
So, what was the first ever thing?
That's what I'm. Yes, this is the point, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
before there was anything, there was nothing. But what is nothing? What is nothing? How was there nothing?
We can't answer it.
What was there if there was nothing?
Maybe it's just
Before
our
all these
our
universes.
small little brains.
Think
Just,
about it though. There's universes. There's There's more than one universe. There's universes on universes.
so maybe
Space is
we
forever
can never
expanding.
understand that. Maybe we will never actually understand that because there's only so far we can go within knowledge. Maybe our minds will never actually
no,
understand
but
where
we
what
are
nothing
understanding
is.
it. They can look into astrophysics. There's a
no,
lot.
no,
There's a
what-
lot of
what if we
theory
never
there for
ever
us to
will?
understand.
What if we never ever will? What if the answer? There's some things that we'll just never find out.
We
There's some
just
things
need to
we will
be able
never
to
know the
explore
answer
more.
to. So why do we feel like we have the right that one day we will find out the answer?
Because
to that
we
question?
know once we got the technology and we're getting there
Nah.
now, we're going to be able to explore space a lot
That's
more.
very nice. What you're saying is we will know the answer to everything.
No, I've never said we will never know the answer to everything. You've just twisted that. Why are you being like a news reporter? He's like a twisted interview guy there. No, I didn't say that. Right, what were we even saying? You threw me right off. What did you say?
I can't even remember now.
We're just gonna go in circles on this because there is no.
We'll never know everything, but what I'm saying is we're going to be able to figure. We're already figuring out a hell of a lot. Even in the last few years, we found like look at the
So to go
the
back
Higgs boson theory and stuff.
to nothing, right?
What-
I still
when-
take it back to nothing. I still think that
What on earth
We-
is nothing?
we will never
on earth?
understand what nothing is because there's only so much we will ever understand. We are limited in what we will know
Well,
on this
this is
planet
the- it's
because
a
there's
human brain.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 dimensions. There's only so far we can go with our knowledge.
Yeah, because
we
the
might
human
never,
can only see in 3 dimensions.
but we might never.
We can only
Yeah,
can only live
exactly.
in 3 dimensions.
So we might never know the answer.
No,
to
but-
what is nothing?
Yeah, I understand that though. I understand that. I don't have a problem with that. We'll never. There's always going to be another question, and that's what's great. That's what
Yeah.
keeps humanity alive.
Yeah.
Always searching for that next question, that next big question.
What do you think the next big question? What's
if
the
I
next big?
knew
What's
me,
the,
I'd be rich.
what's the big question in your mind? Like,
What right now?
not right now.
I'm thinking
You're hostile towards me right now. Do you want to fight?
interview tactics, man.
I'll fight you.
But
Ball right now.
It's all kicking off.
but yeah, like we'll never know. We'll never know everything. But what I'm saying is like, once technology's going at a rate now where we're finding out a lot about the cosmos, more than we ever have before.
Do you think we'll ever travel to other planets? Like
100%.
planet? I'm not like. I'm not talking Mars. I mean like other colonized planets. Other.
What do you mean? There is no colonized.
How do we know
Well,
that?
if we don't do it, if
we don't know that.
if we don't do it, then we're all the human race is, you know, we're all gone. So that's the only logical way out for the human race.
Eventually.
is eventually when
If we don't get wiped out
the sun,
beforehand.
sun dies or whatever, sun goes out. The only way the human race could survive is by going to another planet, hopping shit.
What about? Do you know they say Mars, the red planet? Mars used to have its own atmosphere, so Mars's atmosphere now is very like thin. That's because I don't know what, I can't remember what happened, but and there used to be water on Mars as well.
Do you think
So
there
do you
used to be
think-
life on Mars?
So
Bowie.
I think
Yeah,
I think there probably was.
if there was water
Fine.
there and there was so at the moment there
Or
is
some
no
kind of-
atmosphere.
Something.
Yeah, yeah.
Something.
So if the atmosphere was still there, they also say the moon collided with Earth, didn't they?
Wow, that's an interesting one. I've never heard that. Never heard. Oh, I've just transported to another dimension.
But then again, they also say that there's conductors inside the moon and the moon's hollow.
They reckon that there's no reason why the moon should be there. They say it's totally like unlogical for the moon to be there. But I'm not getting into this fucking moon conspiracy thing because it'll batter. It's not good.
The moon just fascinates me in
Yeah.
general. I love looking up.
And it's
at the
completely
sky.
hollow as well. It rings like a bell. It's totally fucking hollow inside, man. So.
It's funny how you can see the moon during the day.
But that's
not
definitely
funny.
not going to the moon
It's not funny at
conspiracy.
I know. I know. This has been a very loose podcast.
It
this
is.
one.
We're jumping for. That's all right. That's good.
I didn't even put my hair down either. I didn't put my hair down. Jesus.
Oh my god, this is so funny.
Anyway,
Where'd you
peace
go
out.
from the
I don't know. I said bye.
How long has it been?
Oh, there you go.
You've got another. We start at 15:15. So
Another
depends.
15 minutes. Let's go with some fun facts about Chris.
Fun fact.
So no, but you were saying earlier there that you didn't start writing until you were. No, you were 16
Yeah.
when you were writing songs.
I think I was like, cause my dad was like an acoustic guitar player. He was just
really?
really fascinated by playing guitar, and I was like, I
Yeah.
want to do that. I think from a young age of like, I don't know, as young as I can remember, really, I was always having a go, but not like properly.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
sort of like bash it out. Then I was like, right, Dad, I want to learn a guitar, and I was like, and he was like, okay, well, here's a busker's book, son. You go learn all the fucking chords. So I learned all the chords because I was like, I want electric guitar. I want to play electric guitar. I was fascinated
Yeah,
by it. But he's like, not until you learn all these songs and learn all the chords. And then this acoustic guitar, he had just like the action. I don't know if the action on the acoustic guitar, which means that the length from the string to the fretboard is really
Yeah,
high. So when you
yeah.
press your fingers on it,
Really,
fucking knacks.
It hurts. Yeah.
So I had to really like, it was like fucking chicken wire or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I learned all these songs, blah blah, and then I've bought us an electric. That's when I started. I think on the first year, Hummer's not like 13. I basically locked myself away for a year. Just didn't go out, socialise, and just fucking practiced every night, just solid. And then writing riffs and just sort of like that's where I sort of coming up with stuff.
That's unbelievable.
And then
Amazing.
like got like yeah, I was about 14, 15 when I started my first band. Snarl Puppy.
Snarl puppy.
Snarl Puppy.
Snarl puppy.
Yeah, back in the day. That was when I was 15. Did a few local gigs like
Did you?
around about that age. It was
What were you thinking at this moment in time? Were you looking at the future and thinking, oh fuck yeah, this?
I just wanted to do music. I was obsessed with music.
You just wanted to do what you were doing.
It's just like, I was obsessed with just
playing.
Yeah, but like I say, I was kind of forced into the whole singing thing because, as I was saying before, I could never find a singer who would sing, and I didn't really feel comfortable being up there playing and singing. I just didn't. It's never felt right, and throughout my years going to where I am now, it's only been the last sort of like 3 or 4 years where I felt like, I'd say even 2 years where I felt like comfortable doing it, or actually playing on stage, thinking, oh, I can sort of like hold my own on stage. It's weird. Like before, I used to hate the on stage banter in between songs. I used to get like clown because I was quite shy as a kid. Like still am now. Really, like I'm not introvert, and I don't really like doing this even.
It's
like
weird though. You're like an extrovert but introvert at the same time.
Yeah, it's like I like my own space. Like being in, like being out there doing something.
I think introverts are more creative.
And then
is it called an ambivert?
Is it?
Where like basically you don't mind socialising, but like you need to go and recharge your batteries.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I need to spend time alone.
Yeah.
I got to go out into the wilderness and walk for fucking miles.
I'm very much the same, Chris. I'm very much the same.
But just kind of never felt like never took to it naturally. Like some people just like born that just get up and play and can talk, have the gift of the gab. I was always one who sat there in a conversation, not saying much, and then just sort of thinking, something to say for the hate sake, saying it a lot of times. So I better fucking chip in. But I'm just like,
that'd be an interesting movie, that wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
And then it's just and like you say, just growing up, just kind of like anxious about a lot of things. Always anxious or anxiety.
Social anxiety.
As well. Yeah, a little bit. And I was just started to sort of like, but I think the more you get forced into these situations, the more it's like sort of forces you to sort of interact. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Definitely. Yeah. It's to sort of get like when I got the job here, like before that, again, I little jobs here and there and nothing really serious, but it forces you to sort of be in a social situation all the time. So it's quite, I feel like quite natural doing it now, but it's I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How do you feel now? Like so the other week at a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
How do you feel before stuff like that now? Just quite natural. Just ready.
Just loved it. I just thought I'm a new person sort of like from doing like I just feel like
Is it confidence?
Yeah, confidence and just sort of like I don't know. I think you just accept yourself for who. I think the older you get, the more you accept yourself for who you are and all your faults that go with it.
You can be who you are as
real talk.
Yeah, just sort of like you just kind of you've got to step outside yourself to see yourself. If you know what I mean, and then just sort of like realize
any funny ways that you do that.
This is what we were saying this last week. It was perfect one from John last week when he said you need to like you're looking at yourself like you sat in a theatre on your own watching a movie, and that's always the best way.
And then he said, so then you got to take yourself to be the projector,
the actual guy projecting the movie.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the next level of awareness right there.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
So relevant.
Yeah, but there are certain meditative techniques that one does.
Masturbating in a sauna.
Always. Yeah.
What about jacuzzi?
Well, have you masturbated in the sauna before?
What about jacuzzi?
A jacuzzi? Yeah. No, the sauna where
making a mess for everybody. Okay.
Oh my! You masturbated in a jacuzzi? That's ridiculous.
I'm joking.
No, have you never masturbated in a sauna?
No, I don't think I've masturbated.
Neither have I. That's weird. I don't know. I just want to say something.
I'd like
ridiculous.
To one day.
It feels like you're gonna die. Do you know if you stay there too long?
I tell you what, was like a banging tune. You might have your own
sauna
one day.
I
can't believe this tune that he's made.
What tune? Me and Chris.
That I'm about to watch after this.
Yeah, let's go back and talk about that for a second again.
Yeah, let's talk about that before
we're getting there. So this tune, a meeting of the minds.
Yeah, like a deep.
What's the name?
Meeting of the
minds.
minds.
No, I don't want to get that.
There's no name yet.
There's no name for it yet. It's just a.
Can you give us a little taste of what one of your lines might be, Shakk?
No.
Just one line.
No, you know.
Just give me one line.
But no, I want to save it. I want to save it. Because I want the first thing to. I want it to hit you because it's real stuff. But it is like on a real note. The music's like it's another level. I hope we can make some more songs.
Yeah, like I said, what we said before.
I hope we make more songs.
It being not just like a hip hop project and not like a.
It's completely different.
It's going to be like live instruments with like obviously like electronic drums and samples and weird sounds, but just the whole, You know, just mix something that's complete. I'm not saying it's going to be like completely different from everything else out there or anything like that.
This has got
it's just going to be a.
We're not following trends, you know what I'm saying?
It's going to be like
you create something
soundtrack
new.
sort of stuff, like kind of really something that's a bit, you know, that's
This
might not be
this
easy
is classic,
easy on the ear, but just sort of it's going to take you on a journey. That's the idea. Take you on a journey.
It's timeless, this sort of music. It really is. It doesn't matter how old you are, when you were born. I think this is going to be around
like
for a long
deeper
time.
meaning, you know.
Yeah.
I like to make music, and Chris has got a wide variation of different types of songs. Can do songs for everybody, but sometimes you just want to make something that really means something to you.
And I'm not even bothered like if people like it or not. But a lot of people might not like it because it'd be like, oh, it's a bit too. What you doing? Like, what you can't fucking do. I'd be like, well, that's good. Because it's
anybody who appreciates music is going to listen to this and be like, what?
It's because music's so structured now. Like it's like verse, chorus, verse, like, and then it's bridge, chorus. Like
was saying it, wasn't
it? It's like verse, hook, or especially in hip hop, which the general structure of like say hip hop or grime, it's like kind of you do your verse, your hook, your verse, your hook.
It's just the
it's
same
like
shit.
Bang.
There's no creativity in it anymore.
With this, I'm all up for like, you know, having 2 minutes of solid MCing and there's some crazy sounds going, and all of a sudden it just goes drops out, and it's just this. Almost sounds like you're falling into some kind of abyss or something where you're just like, you know, crazy fucking, you know, you're hearing voices, subliminal messages, whatever. I don't know, just anything like that, just to sort of make it a really listening. It would be cool to fucking mix it in 5.1 surround, something like that.
I can't help but like link it to the likes of Pink Floyd. I just can't like the way that it takes you.
Do you know what?
This is the thing. Prog rock music and stuff where it just goes. There's no structures. It's just kind of just go off on it. Where it's more like classical music, where it's more like we think of it as movements rather than, you know what I mean. So different movement, different pieces which can change. Chop and change.
Orchestrate.
But I love a bit of classical music. I'm not gonna lie.
I try and listen to it actually, but I don't get away with it.
I love some of the, you know, like hip hop. People's been sampling classical music for years.
That's
in hip hop.
It gives me a lot of inspiration.
It's so. You know, if you listen to sort of movie soundtracks, you know, sort of stuff like Lord of the Rings soundtrack, it's just amazing.
Epic stuff.
It's like
just moving, really powerful.
Yeah. It's just sound in it.
Yeah, it really is.
It just has a massive effect. Think about it. Sound, it helps people through depression.
Played by real humans as well, you know what I mean? These are people playing their instruments properly.
Isn't it like, I listened to a podcast actually the other day, and they were talking about what music does to you when you're training, and if you're tired, you could literally be at your physical limit. And then someone plays you a good song, and you'll always find something extra. So that is something. Crazy. That's a mental stimulation that music creates you to
and it's something only humans can enjoy.
Yeah, I know.
You agree to it now? Yes, that's right. Because no animals feel rhythm. Well, I'm sure one does, one or two do. But
I was just thinking there, animals love music. Animals like music more.
So when you see like a dog just listening with his headphones in,
Henry,
like bopping his head.
Our mum and dad's Henry. Our mum and dad have a
St.
Saint Bernard called Henry, and he listens to the radio all day, every day.
That's because your people like to humanise pets, don't they?
I think animals probably could like enjoy music. I think definitely. There's cases where there's that guy who got is it horses or is it cows or something? He's all cow. He just plays music to these cows and they're loving it. They just sit there listening.
Because you know why? Because they're in rhythm. That's why. It's because they're in rhythm.
They might enjoy the music. Don't get me wrong, but they don't have a sense of rhythm. I think there's like one or two.
You can see them tapping the feet all the
time.
Like sync.
Can you ever watch Happy Feet?
Yeah, like that. That's what the cows do in the fields when they listen to music.
Yeah. But yeah, it's music.
You can keep dancing monkeys, guys. Stuff like, you know, like kind of chimps doing.
Have you seen the video of a?
I think they just.
What's the name of the monkey?
Or even dolphins. Dolphins do it, you know, in time when it's sort of going.
So there's this brilliant,
no rhythm though.
Brilliant TED talk where it shows you how monkeys react to getting treated unfairly, and so this woman has a grape in her hand. And what was the other thing? And a cucumber in her hand. So what she does is she puts this little thing into the box where the monkey is, and the monkey gets this thing, passes it back out to her. So she gives the monkey a cucumber. Then she gives this thing to another monkey in another cage, and then the monkey gets it, passes it back to her. She gives that monkey a grape. But this monkey seen that monkey get the grape, and he had a cucumber. So the next time she puts the thing back in, right, the monkey has to pick it out, give it back to her, and then the monkey's expecting to get a grape back. Gives it another cucumber. So the monkey takes the cucumber, looks at it, puts his arm out and flings it at the woman for getting treated unfairly because it wanted a grape. And then she done it again. Yeah. Then she gave the grape to the other monkey. Cucumber again. Again, the monkey flung it at it.
What was it? What was the animal they had in there where it was actually like a team play, and it was like instead of kicking off, it wouldn't eat its grape or whatever until the other one got another grape.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember what
Is that a
animal it
TED
was.
Talk as well, or is that just
Sure,
a
it was on the
YouTube
same
video?
one.
Oh, I didn't watch the full thing. I just watched that little short
I'm pretty
clip.
sure, yeah. So like there was like that
No
thing was in the
way.
monkeys where it might have been the monkeys still, but basically it went on strike for its team guy. Like it was like
Oh,
this
I wanna
monkey,
watch that.
I'm not eating until this monkey gets
That's
its
a team play. That's something that a wolf would do. Wolves are my favourite animal.
beasts.
Wolves are absolutely
Beautiful
phenomenal. The way that they work in a team and they're so
Yeah.
efficient, and like the
Yeah.
way that the member of the pack, like the alpha, sits in the middle and it tracks how fast that the ones go in front, and it also keeps an eye on the ones behind, and
Yeah.
it keeps everybody together as a team. Just the way that they work as a team, they're so vicious. It's phenomenal. It's nature at its finest.
It is, yeah.
Nature's
Lions
vicious.
as well. Lions, Pride of
yeah,
Lions. It's fucking
yeah.
amazing.
I love it on Attenborough where like say there's a penguin or whatever, and it's like it's like surviving, and you think it's just as you think it survived. Like it goes through so many barriers and obstacles. It's like you're on edge with this penguin, like trying to
Nice.
survive, and then
Yeah.
and then out of nowhere something else will just kill it, and then that's just nature for you. That
and you're just
you-
watching it. And
you could go through all these barriers. Probably a bit of a negative way to think, but you go through
Good
all
way
these
to
barriers and you can get hit by a car. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So don't be so careful in life. Let your hair down and have a little bit of fun while on a podcast.
Exactly. Have a bit of fun, like this podcast right here.
Yeah. We just
We've been
talk.
so
A couple
Amen
of
to that.
drinks. Why
Yeah.
not?
Cool.
Take
Yeah.
care. Peace out.
Peace out. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Cheers, Chris.
No worries.
Excellent.
Bye.